Mother Clare, some religious groups are very active in politics. Is it necessary to be a political activist in order to really be making a stand for good or for one's beliefs?
A political activist is a somewhat of a strong term of what one is. However, when those of us who are committed to a spiritual life look at what is going on in our government, and when we are given opportunities to have input on that, we absolutely should be standing for what is morally and ethically right. And I mean in a large picture, not the little tiny issues the denominations tend to get in arguments about. I know you may say they're not little tiny, but compared to war in the world, compared to the enormity of genocide and of people starving to death and of global warming and of the injustices committed against the poor everywhere. Way too often, people of spiritual values and of religious content have gotten stuck on the much smaller issues. If one is pro-life, for example, one should be pro-life across the board. That means that we stand for justice and helping people actually live. Not just preventing abortion, but rather, are people able to feed the children if they have them? There's a question. Are people able to be in a condition to have children when they're coming? And do we not kill people of other countries because we have a tangle with them? How can we possibly be pro-war and pro-life? How can that be? That is a contradiction in terms. How can we possibly be pro-wealth beyond all measure and the poor fend for themselves and say we're pro-life? How can we stand for the injustices in our society and others and say we are pro-life? How can we be for the death penalty and say we are pro-life? So I challenge people to actually be pro-life. I'd like to see that, which means that we have compassion and help available for women who get caught in a pregnancy that was unwanted and unplanned for and seems impossible to go through with. That we understand that that is a tragedy across the board. And just to promote that woman giving birth to the child, but doing nothing for how she's going to raise that child, is hypocrisy. If we're going to say all conception should come to term and to birth, then we need to be in place to help what comes after that. And if we are to say it's a crime to terminate it, then how can we say it's not a crime to kill hundreds of thousands of people when we go to war against other countries? So we need to be consistent in our ethics of life. And so it is in all of politics. If we stand for a moral life, we need to hold our government accountable to a moral governing. And we need to do whatever we can to convince our fellow Americans, our fellow people who can vote, to demand of our government that they hold ethics, that we hold our rulers accountable for lying to the public. That is not acceptable. That they tell lies to manipulate public opinion, to get us to agree to go to war, to get us to agree to things we would have never agreed to if we knew the truth. That should be impeachable. We need to have standards we don't let slide by for ourselves and for our government. We need to live it ourselves if we are going to hold our government accountable, and we need to care about having an ethical and just society. And then we need to do whatever each of us feels is our part of it to contribute to that coming about. For some, that may be marching. For most everyone, that would be talking to our legislators and letting them know what we expect and what we demand. For all of us, it is holding that vision and that demand that our government be accountable, be just, be fair, be one we could actually be proud of. And we can say, that is our government. We are glad we are leading this world in consciousness. We are demonstrating for all that we've been given what we can give in return to this world. How we can help other countries who have not yet achieved an ability to be just and fair and kind and compassionate to those who have the least and are the most challenged. That is the America I want to be able to have and be proud of. I want to be able to stand up before the countries of the world and go, look, we have shown how to do it right. We can help demonstrate how to have true ethics, true compassion, a truly just society. We will need to work for that, and we'll all need to sacrifice for it. If we expect someone else to do it for us, it will never happen. So we all do need to do our part to bring that about. And blessings upon every one of you who does your part to make this world more just, more peaceful, more compassionate, more loving.